Hello again. When I was young, certain topics were generally acknowledged to be off limits to anybody other than one's immediate family. These could be summed up as politics, religion, and sex. You did not tell casual acquaintances, let alone complete strangers, if you preferred committing sodomy to having straight sexual intercourse with a woman, for one example. Nor did you go on about your faith in the Lord or lack of it. It was not even really the thing to discuss how one voted. In those days, it was considered bad form to ask about people's politics. Ask somebody who had voted at a recent election for whom they had voted, and they were likely to reply tartly that it was a secret ballot, which meant it was their business alone. I cannot help contrasting and comparing this situation with that which exists today, where everybody seems eager to share the most intimate details of their private lives with millions of people across the whole world. Take sex, for instance. I have not the remotest interest in the sexual proclivities of others. I cannot tell you the depths of my indifference to this subject. I'm aware that some of the people I know are women married to men, and I also have friends who are homosexual, but nothing could concern me less than what anybody other than me gets up to in the sack. I feel the same way about people who wish to have sex change operations or to three up with others. Absolutely fine by me, as long as all parties involved are consenting adults. I'm happy for everybody to enjoy sex each in their own way. Many people today, though, feel the need to advertise their tastes, and they literally march through the streets proclaiming them. See gay pride marches. Why would you do that? When did sex stop being a private matter between the parties concerned? I assume that 50 or 60 years ago men were doing it with their wives and homosexuals were active, but it was certainly not the object of remark. Why would it be? Politics is another of those things which were once something which people just got on with quietly without shouting their heads off about. Some people belong to the Young Conservatives, others might put leaflets through letter boxes for the Liberals in the run-up to a general election. Politics was once a low-key and largely private affair. I cannot imagine a Liberal and a Conservative friend falling out over politics in the 1950s or 1960s. Something has happened since then, though, that it is now almost unthinkable for somebody who votes for the Conservatives to be friends with someone of a left-wing persuasion. This is sad because, of course, it contributes to the fragmentation of society. At one time, it would be possible for a Labour Party member to go for a meal with somebody who votes Conservative, and neither would have dreamt of mentioning their political views. It simply wasn't done. Politics and religion being understood to be taboo subjects at a dinner party. It was another world. I'm not sure what has caused such a sea change in the mores of society, so that boasting about wanting a sex change is regarded as being something daring and admirable rather than a purely personal matter. I have an idea that it's part of a trend which I've noticed in which people persuade themselves that their personal lives are more interesting than is actually the case. They look at themselves and evidently say, well, I'm such a fine person. How could anybody fail to want to hear about my ambitions, aims and beliefs, or sexuality, or religious beliefs? Surely my way is the correct one, and I must advertise it to all around me and see if anybody raises their eyebrows. This will give me the opportunity to denounce them for being narrow-minded or racist, and also afford me the opportunity to demonstrate how withered and progressive I am politically and sexually compared with other people. I think that must be what is going on. The truth is, of course, that none of us, unless we happen to be very exceptional or colossally famous, lead lives of such note that strangers would wish to hear about the minor details of those lives. Our opinions might be worth hearing and talking about in a casual way, but not the mere fact that we vote Liberal or prefer to have sex with women, or indeed, as the case may be, with men. I suppose I yearn for the time when folks simply got on with their private lives and left others to do the same. I know for my part I'm nobody special, and I assume that this is generally realised. Chatting in this way with a bunch of people, as I do on these videos, is pleasant enough, but as I said this morning, I wouldn't like anybody to have the idea that my ideas are better than those they already hold, or indeed more correct than those of other people. And I reinforce what I've said more than once already. If anybody wants to find out about some subject in detail from an unbiased source, then they would do far better to go to the library and get a book out instead of trusting all that I say to be the gospel truth. I honestly think that YouTube is a very unreliable place to get facts.